Anything, first thing we need to really, go over is the driver shortage. There's a major driver shortage nationally, not just here. It's not unique to Monroe. We're all affected, but we're really feeling the pain now. We were kind of okay for a while, but the pain is starting to, hit us now. Driven mainly after, once COVID hit, a lot of the drivers just retired. They decided that was it, they're gonna retire. And trying to get new drivers in, there's really just not a pool to pull from anymore. We do everything that we can we have a number of campaigns where we try to pull drivers in with, advertising on Indeed and on our website constant. We just have a constant running ad. We never end it. We enlist the help of our other drivers that are coming in, new drivers, wherever you're coming from, bring your friends, and we've got a few that way. But it seems like for every 2 we get, we lose 3. It just seems to be the way it's going. So I mean, we're quite short right now. We have 7 drivers short that we have not filled. That's not including all the excessive absenteeism and long-term. So that lends itself to a very difficult situation in our department. Just to get the kids to school, that doesn't include our athletics, our field trips, or anything else that is after school runs. All of that is affected by not having enough drivers. Just getting them to school, and that's our priority. Of course, that's our, to and from is the law. We need to do that, and we do that with it however we can. Getting a license is not an easy thing for a bus driver. It takes at least 2 months for a bus driver to get a license now, where it used to be 2 weeks. That was it, just like your car license. Now it's an intensive training program they have to go through. They have to take classes, and so many hours, 40 hours of classes, 20 hours of on the road. And by the time they're done, it's 2 months. They're down, that's how long it would take to get a license. So a lot of people don't want to wait that long. They want a job now. So that's what we're confronting right now with all of that. We'll continue to keep doing what we're doing to get drivers in and keep our fingers crossed. We have a couple coming in, the next board meeting. We have, 2 coming in. So we'll take what we can get in that order. Again, absenteeism is really high. So with the absenteeism, trying to get athletic buses after school has been difficult for us because we're doubling runs to cover the absenteeism and getting back late from each and every one of those. And then the athletics seems to be the guy that suffers from this. But so that being said, I mean, we double route a lot. We're going to be starting to do that now. I can see that coming because I just got a couple more today that are going to be out for a while. I reached out to the Ed Services Commission to see if we could contract, and they said, just send over what you need and we'll see what we can do. So I send over the contract, what I need to contract out. I want, a couple buses every single day for athletics and see, what comes back. I don't know if we'll get anything. I'm hoping we will. We may get 2 buses just every day for 2 athletics, and that's what they'll be totally for that.
I know we can interrupt you, but I'd like to get Steve to speak on the issue that he's facing.
Sure.
So that all the other board members know about it.
Sure.
And then maybe at home or whatever, maybe we can come up with some kind of solution or help fix the problem. So Steve, would you mind?
Yeah, of course. So in athletics, coming in, we sat down with Kathy and we talked about athletics having 2 buses around 3:15. The majority of our games are typically scheduled around 4 o'clock. We do have some games that are at 6 o'clock, but the majority of our teams, especially for sub-level, are going to be around 4 o'clock. So for us to get a bus at 4:15, it's already past that time. So I would have to reach out to other schools and ask if they're okay with pushing some of these games back. We face some difficulties in the sense that some of these other schools don't have lights, so automatically they can't, putting a game at 5, especially with the light, coming out, ending a little bit sooner, in the fall, it does affect us. So sometimes they say, hey, we can't, so we have to cancel those games or try to push them to another day. And for some varsity teams, some schools are okay with pushing it, but at the same time, when they push it, they now incur costs for, having staff a little bit longer and all those types of things. So sometimes they're a little hesitant for that. But again, most of them have worked with us, right now a little bit with that. But, you know, right now with the shortages that we're experiencing, we're not getting any buses at 3:15. I can only schedule for the most part at 4:15. And some schools are looking, are saying, hey, you know, we can't accommodate, you know, those needs for you. So we get into a situation where, unfortunately, this week, we've had to reach out to some parents to see if they can help us out. I know it puts a lot of strain on them and their schedules. But at the same time, you know, we're in a situation where I can say, yes, we'll send some buses at 4:15 and run the risk of the student athletes getting there right at game time and not getting a proper warm-up. Sometimes getting there a little late, depending on where we're going. If it's 30 minutes, it's great, maybe we get there a little bit before, but if it's 40 minutes, 50 minutes, you know, we're gonna be late. And we also run the risk of other schools saying, hey, we gotta cancel the game because the officials that we have another game at 7 and we can't run late. So there's a lot of things that kind of allow a little bit of a domino effect that we see there. So I know other districts, have, you know, reached out to parents to see if they can help out. They sometimes look to carpooling. A lot of schools do allow seniors to drive as long as, you know, they have proper documentation for everything. And I think, you know, right now we're in a position where we may have to explore those options. And I think that, you know, part of it is, again, like the parents have asked, you know, for communication. And again, we're trying to, you know, see what kind of things we can come up with and, you know, what alternatives we can find. But, you know, right now it looks like 4:15 is really the earliest I can get. And I don't want to get in a situation where I have to cancel sub-varsity games. I think that those student athletes, you know, work equally as hard as our varsity team. And I don't want to get in a situation where we say varsity is a priority. I think all of them are a priority. And we want to try to get them there as quickly and safely as possible.
If I can just, I want to just bring something home because I think it's very important for the parents that are watching and the people that are going to share this information. So exactly what Ms. McDonald said, we've had ongoing meetings. We've already met 2-3 times already regarding these concerns. I want to just make sure everybody understands this. In order to cover the routes for our elementary, and we pick elementary because they're our last route of the day, to get home, we do not have any additional drivers to drive the bus to provide transportation for our sports teams for the
We don't have physical lines. There are no drivers. Sometimes we don't with the routes. Sometimes we don't with the routes just to cover the
elementary children home. So therefore, the 3:15 routes cannot happen. So some of the things that we've decided, Chief School Administrator made the decision, yes, we're working with both our insurance company and our attorneys, and we're going to have a letter, we have the waiver for people to drive each other.
I've sent that to the lawyer.